Welcome everyone to Genie Communications Methods, our webinar for October. I'm Christopher. In a moment, I'll be joined by Jody. We're both trainers here at Genie Solutions. So in the spirit of reconciliation, Genie Solutions acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. Over the webinar, we'll be showing you how to communicate with doctors via sending encrypted letters and receiving encrypted letters. Also, then we'll move on to communicating with patients via email and SMS. If you have any questions, you can pop them in the Q&A section down below. We'll answer some of those at the end there. So sending encrypted letters to other medical providers. So third-party electronic correspondence is secure, encrypted and quick. It's useful for communication between medical professionals, but also good for receiving results from pathology and radiology labs. There's lots of different software that can be used for electronic correspondence. Some of the most common are shown on the left there, Argus, Healthlink and Medical Objects, but there's a variety of different ones you could use. So preferred method of communication. For everyone in your address book in Genie, you can set up their preferred method of communication. Let's go and set one of them up here. Let's go up to Open, and down to Address Book. We're going to put in the details for Dr. Sarah White. So let's type White in there. There we are. Double click to open her up. See there's a couple of tabs up in the top left corner there. We'll go into the Correspondence tab. See where the cursor's flashing in the middle there? That's where we can set her preferred method of electronic communication. So we're going to pick Argus for that. Then, of course, we'll need to fill in her Argus address in the middle of the screen there. This means that when we go to send a letter to her, by default, it'll assume that we're going to be sending it by Argus. Okay, so include PDF. So some of you may have noticed on that last screen that we're on, down the bottom there, has this option here, include PDF in letters. Quite a useful option. So when you're creating a letter in your Genie, it might look like this. You might have a fancy letterhead up at the top with a logo, fonts, and you have bolded text and indenting and everything in your letter. However, by default, when you send out that letter via electronic correspondence, it'll send it in text form, looking just like this. However, if you choose that option in your address book, include PDF in letters, when you send a letter to that particular person, it will attempt to send it through with all the formatting in PDF format. Now, most software will accept that and it will display your letter in the beautiful way you intended it to come across. However, if it can't, it will just naturally go back to the text-only mode. If you do want to send in PDF format, you need to ensure that your server's running as an application, not a service. And if you're on a PC, you need to have Microsoft Print to PDF installed. Sending to CCs. Now, it confuses people sometimes. What if I have a letter that's being sent out to a person who doesn't want it sent out by electronic communication? Just they're receiving it by fax or post, something like that. But the CCs on that letter are receiving it via electronic communication. So you can see in this particular case here, we're sending a letter out to Dr. Martin Brave, who's not having it sent out by electronic communication. But let's add a couple of CCs into this. So we'll add Dr. Charles Steele there. You can see on the left, he's set up to be sent via Argus. And we've got sent ticked next to his name. Also add another one there, Dr. Abdul Assad. And you can see once again on the left-hand side, we've got send tick next to him, so it's going to attempt to send it to him via Argus. So when we're ready, the letter looks all well and good. Let's tick ready to send. Seeing as this main recipient, this is going to be printed out. Let's print it out for him. I don't have a printer connected to my computer, so I'm just going to print via PDF. There we go. You see the printed is highlighted up there now. Then we can just go and save that letter. When we save that letter, it will, within the next 15 minutes, attempt to send that off to the CCs by Argus. So we're just going to skip ahead 15 minutes then. It's 15 minutes later. It's a couple of different ways we can check whether those letters got sent out. Let's go up to the top of the screen to open and down to outgoing letters. Okay, so here, seeing as we send it out by third-party electronic communication, go down to third-party unacknowledged. Nope, no one there. You can see the top letter there sent out is the one to Dr. Martin Brave. You will see it says false underneath sent. That's because the main recipient was just having his printed out rather than sent electronically. But as you can see, it's got the 2 CCs on it there. So we can open this letter. As we see, there's the main recipient who didn't get his thing sent out by third party. But on the left-hand side, you can see the 2 CCs there. They now have a tick in the sent box for each of them there. So you can see it has been sent out by Argus already. We can also check the correspondence log. If we go up the top there, down to the correspondence log. See, we've got several tabs here, sent, received, and error log as well. And on the sent tab there, there's a line in this report for every person, every recipient of electronic communication. So we can see both Charles and Abdul on that list there. They've been sent out with Argus. There's also on the left-hand side, little column here where when the recipient receives that letter, they can send us back an acknowledgement to say that they've got it. You can also check if you did open the letter. See on the left-hand side, there's that acknowledged box for both of the recipients. So if the recipient had wanted to acknowledge that they'd received that letter, a tick would appear in each of those boxes. On the right-hand side, if the main recipient of the letter had it sent out via Argus or another communication method and sent back acknowledgement, that's where it would tick that same box there as well. Most software will send back acknowledgement, but some of the software don't. So it's really up to the software at the other end. So problems with sending. From time to time, there may be some software issue with the software that's sending out your outgoing electronic correspondence. Well, it's very important to log into your administrator account inside Genie, because that will get sent warnings about problems with outgoing electronic correspondence. As you can see in this case, there was problems sending out some of the Argus letters. So incoming letters and tasks. So it is possible to set up your Genie so that every time a letter comes in one of the doctors via electronic correspondence, it sends them a notification. In order to set that up, we can go up to the File menu there, down to Practice Preferences, open the current practice we're at. See, there's a bunch of tabs up the top there. If we go to the very last one there, Carrier Identifiers, we can come down and click on Create a Task when importing a letter. That means if a letter comes in via electronic correspondence and it exactly matches the name of one of the doctors at your practice, it will send them a task. However, if a name comes in on one of those letters that doesn't match one of the doctors, it'll send a task to the administrator instead. So once again, another good reason why you should always have somebody regularly logging in as the administrator of your Genie. So linking incoming letters. Now, of course, each of the letters coming in to your Genie needs to be linked in to the particular patient it's relevant to. So we can go up the top there to have a look at incoming letters. That's where we can see incoming ones there. But there's also, down the bottom of the screen there, we can click on letters in, which takes us to the same screen. If we open this letter here, we can see the system's automatically matched it with Sophia Perez. And it will generally match up with people on the basis of their name, their date of birth, and Medicare card number. We can just link them up there. We've also got a button over to the right-hand side here that we can create a task for somebody to do some work based on this particular incoming letter. If you want to see all of the letters that are attached to this particular patient, select them in the appointment book, and then click on the stethoscope symbol to go into clinical mode, and all of the letters will be attached on the left-hand side of the screen there. So the blue icon will show the incoming electronic correspondence. The red icon will show outgoing correspondence, and the paperclip symbol there will show correspondence that we may have scanned in to Genie. Now pass you over to my colleague Jody.
Hello, my name is Jody, and today I'm going to be taking you through some communication tips and tricks, and we're going to start off with emailing within Genie. So Genie has the ability to email appointment reminders. In some instances, some practices will choose to email appointment reminders approximately 1 to 2 weeks prior to actually sending out an email, a SMS reminder. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So to do this, we navigate in Genie to the desired day. We click on the word appointments and drop down to email reminders. From here, we can select the desired parameters that we're after, such as provider, all appointments or procedures only, or we can choose to do a manual selection. When ready, we would click on send. At this stage, you can simply click on OK and ignore the blank message box. Genie will automatically create emails for you to be sent out when you next email. These emails will be stored in the outbox. We'll click on a message so you can see the auto-generated message. You also may wish to include an additional message with the auto-generated message. So you would simply repeat the process, select the parameters as required, and at this point in time, you can navigate to your macros and choose the desired message that you wish to include in the auto-generated. The messages will go into the outbox, where you can choose to send them, or they'll automatically go out when you email your next patient. You can also email clinical results and attachments to the patient as well. Some practices may wish to send patients a copy of their pathology results within a letter. To do this, select the required patient and click on the yellow folders. Choose your letter, position the cursor where you want the result to be displayed. On the left-hand side, select expressions and scroll down to the bottom. Here you will see pathology results. You can click on pathology results and choose the pathology result you want in the letter. You can also do this for any clinical attachments as well by simply clicking on the attachment option. Once the attachment is in, we would proceed to email as normal, choosing our desired format, clicking on OK, and then next clicking on the Send Now. We're going to move on to patient communication, and we're going to move on to some SMS. So the SMS functionality in Genie can be used for a variety of reasons outside of your SMS appointment reminder. So as an example of that, Genie can give you the ability to SMS patients without a valid referral. I'm going to show you how you would send out SMSs to patients that do not have a valid referral within Genie. To do this, we would click on the word appointments and drop down to check forward referrals. We would type in our required parameters, such as date range and provider, and then click on OK. You'll notice at the top, Genie will tell you how many appointments have been displayed without a valid referral. We would move down and click on Show in Patient List. From here, we can then click on our SMS bubble. Genie will tell us how many of these patients have a valid mobile phone number. We can simply click on OK to continue. From here, we can move the default message, and once again, using our macros, we can select our desired message and click on Send. If you're unfamiliar with macros, please feel free to put a question in the box and we can answer it, or you can find additional information on the Genie knowledge base as well. Another great tool for SMSing is Genie gives you the ability to bulk SMS messages for appointments. So this is a great tool, and it can be used if you want to SMS patients if the doctor is running late because he's been held up in theatre, if the doctor is unable to come in for the day. So to do this, we navigate up to Open and click on Patients. We click on OK. And then we click on the word patients again, and we drop down to today's appointments. From here, you can put your parameters in as per normal, and you don't have to do it just for a day. If you wanted to choose a specific time period, you can certainly do that. From here, we click on a little SMS bubble, click on OK to continue, remove the current message that's displayed, and then select from our macro and click on Send. Receiving SMS replies from patients for ad hoc messages. In Genie, if you choose to SMS a patient from anywhere other than the appointment book, such as the demographic window, when the patient replies, the reply will come back into Genie as a task. I'll demonstrate. We highlight the desired patient that we want, and we go into the demographic window. We click on our little SMS bubble, remove the message, and type in the one we require. I'm going to ask the patient to bring in X-rays at his next appointment. From here, we click on Send. What will happen is down in our navigation palette, when the patient replies back, the reply will come back in as a task, where you can go and view and action the task if necessary. This can also be done for our referring doctors as well. And once again, more information can be found on our Genie knowledge base. So additional SMS functionality, you're really only limited by your imagination. We've given you a few examples here. As I said, you can advise the patients if the doctor is running late, if the doctor is unwell or for some reason has had an emergency and is unable to attend the consult day. You can use SMS for promotions for your patients. You can use SMS for happy birthday messages. You can contact your referring providers if you need to. And you can also send out SMS marketing material where you can also include a link in the SMS. So you're really only limited to your imagination, but you can use the Genie SMS functionality for a number of different reasons. So that's the end of today. We'd like to say thank you very much for joining. We know that your time is really valuable and we really appreciate it. So how can you get additional support from us? So we do have a Genie knowledge base, and I'm currently displaying this at the moment, and it's a fantastic resource where you can jump onto our online knowledge base and ask a question. You can browse by category, and you can also ask support for a live chat as well. For more information, we've listed our web address for you. You can also simply type in Genie Knowledge Base in the Google search engine. We should all be aware of our support phone number. And as I said, we've introduced live chat within our company as well.